Hi, I thought I'd do another video focused on big data betting systems, and this basically is following on from a conversation I had with Nigel and Ryan last week, where I've changed my focus quite drastically in the last few months to looking at how I can use the rich data source that Hedger provides to develop systems with high confidence, high reliability, but maybe not too focused on what the drawdown looks individually, because unfortunately drawdowns are fact of life. I really liked the post that Ryan put out where he talked about the stock market, and it's a great analogy because I don't think in my life when I've dabbled in the stock market have I desperately worried from one day to the next whether my portfolio is going up and down. But with my betting systems, I kind of look at them every day, so it can kind of be a bit unhealthy. So I set myself a bit of a task to develop about the biggest betting history I could. Biggest number of actual bets within the system that I could manage a system and be profitable within. And I thought I'd share it with you to see how it looked. So I'm going to talk you through the approach I take just now, and I'm going to go through it pretty slowly. So to start with, I'm going to set my research, I'll call it System D, to NTP, fixed liability backside. I'm going to take the drawdown down to 1 to begin with, and I'll explain what I do with drawdown in a minute. I'm going to hit research. So basically, if I hit, if I bet on everything on a fixed liability basis, I'd be lovely in debt to £22,000. So I'm going to add some filters in, but I'm not going to add in a lot. So I'm going to add in, to begin with, I'm only going to add in MTP, odds, and favourite odds. 3 filters. I like betting at 1 minute to post generally. It's when the market's formed to the best of its ability, the favourite has been either backed in or backed out, and the impact the favourite has on the exchange is massive. So the favourite price will dictate what happens to the rest of the horses, and it's a unique thing to the Betfair exchange compared to betting with the bookies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on this slightly profitable piece here. Focus on the odds range. So I've got an uplift here and I've got an uplift there. Okay, I've got a downslope here. I'm going to see what betting in the odds range of 8 to 25 would like. Yeah, 8 to 25 roughly. If I bet on horses 8 to 25, you can see I'm still not making any money, but I did research the system, so what I did know was that there was a nice upswing here based on the starting price. So I'm now going to focus on there. Increase that slightly to make it consistent with what I've showed in my write-up, from 1.74 to 2.78. So over the life of Hedger, that's 2,500 points, and a maximum drawdown of 318. Not profitable last month. Let's try with 6 months. Profitable over 6 months. One of the things I do when I'm developing systems, I tend to start off quite often with an anti-backfit of 0, because I'm trying to use the whole data pool available to me to see which filters kind of make sense with over-filtering. So I'm going to apply 2 more filters. I'm going to apply them in the order of I'm going to apply the Betfair forecast price, and then I'm going to apply race class. So I use Betfair forecast price quite a lot because it's a very good massive filter. I'm going to set it at around there. Drop that down a little bit again just to be consistent with the system I've showed. Give me that 6. Let me put that anti-backfit back in. See what I did last month. Okay, so now it's profitable just by applying that 1 extra filter. I'm going to apply this just now on 3 race classes. I managed to drop my drawdown down to 194, which is pretty reasonable. and over a 1 month period I've made profit. Yes, I've had drawdown, but I've made profit at the end of the month. So what I'm going to do now is I'm this last thing that I'm going to look at. I've applied 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 filters. I've got a system that is profitable, a yield of around 9%, max drawdown, which you need to have a bank to manage it, but a consistent strike rate over a 1 month period and a full term period, and a yield that's pretty consistent as well. Now, I think this is one of the things, if you're not doing this in the hedge, I suggest you start doing, is look at different backfit periods. Just to go to 5 months, for example. The yields dropped, but my strike rate's pretty good. So basically here, I'm seeing I've got good winners, but they're at lower prices. Let me go to 12 months. Yield still low. 24 months. Okay, the yields go back up. You see again, that's kind of predictable, but you can see the yield slowed up in this time period. But again, I'm expecting that to even out over time. Let's go to 36 months. Okay, so I'm getting a yield that matches up a bit more. You can see here that, although I picked 4, 5, and 6, if I exclude this data pool, class 3 was quite profitable here. You can see also that this has changed a bit of shape, and this has changed a bit of shape, and that's changed a bit of shape. I'm going to go back to 0. So, my thinking generally is that I want to use as much of the data to build a system as possible. When using much of the data, I'm going to set my backfit down to 0. I'm then going to apply my backfit to optimize my system. So I'll apply my backfit. I keep my backfit generally at 3 months. So for a low yield system, 7%, I'll turn over 113 points at drawdown at 97. So I have hit a streaky period, but I'm actually making profit over 3 months. Last thing I'm going to show you is that one thing that's worth checking is, what did we do last weekend? And again, you're just trying to say, did this system actually make any sense? So we'd run this system last weekend, I would have had, the 18th, I think it's Saturday, maybe Sunday. Just check. Saturday. And I had a winner there at 23 points, a winner there at 19 points, a winner there at 10. So it's not over backfitting, because basically I'm only using price and time for each class. Could this be optimised? Absolutely. You could put in a whole bunch of sub-filters. I did play around with it a little bit. The next filter I tend to go to is classification. So I applied classification and I got it to yielding 10% as opposed to 9%. Strike rate was the same, drawdown came down a little bit. But what I did see was that there were certain classifications where this was less likely to be workable. Can be optimised further, absolutely. With that, I'm going to leave the video there and let you have a good play around with this system called System B. It should be easy enough to follow, and best of luck.